When we think about martial arts, we usually think in terms of styles, right? Karate, boxing, BJJ. But what if we threw all that out and looked at it from a completely different angle? What if we treated a fight less like a contest of moves and more like an engineering problem?
Seriously, forget the dojo for a second. Forget the ring. Just picture a real-world encounter. It's all just forces, angles, and structures. The human body itself, it's a structure. And guess what? Like any building, it has weak points. So the real question becomes, how do you engineer its collapse?
And that question? That leads us to a pretty unique modern martial art called Tetsuryoku-Ryu. It translates to the Iron Force style. And this system, it's not about sport, it's not about points, it's designed for one thing and one thing only: survival in the messy, ugly, unpredictable chaos of a real fight.
At the very heart of it is this idea of combat engineering. I mean, how clinical does that sound? It was developed by founder Jarrod A. Freeman, and the whole approach is almost brutally strategic. The goal isn't to stand there and trade punches. No, the goal is to use physics, pure physics and geometry, to break an opponent's structure so completely that the fight is over before they've even had a chance to realize it started.
Now, what's so fascinating is how this thing was built. This isn't some ancient art passed down for centuries. It's a modern synthesis. Freeman basically acted like a master engineer, taking what he saw as the most effective modules from arts that have been proven in combat. So you get the raw power and body conditioning from Kyokushin karate, the insane geometric precision of Aikido's pivots, the deep science of off-balancing or kazushi from judo and sambo, and of course the brutal, up-close and personal tools from Muay Thai and dirty boxing.
Okay, so how does it all come together? Well, the entire system, all those different pieces, they're all built around one central, devastatingly effective principle. Think of it like a biomechanical cheat code that targets the human body's single weakest angle.
And let's be clear, this idea of angle disruption, it's not brand new. You see it everywhere if you know what to look for. Boxers are constantly stepping offline to get a better angle for a hook. Judoka use kuzushi to break someone's balance before they even think about a throw. Karate, Kali, they all use diagonal footwork. All these great arts get it. The angle is power. But, and this is a huge but, where other arts use angles as a tool in their toolbox, Tetsuryoku-Ryu becomes obsessed with one specific number: 45 degrees. It doesn't just use this angle, it makes it the primary engine of the entire system. And the reason is simple: brutal biomechanics. Your skeleton, it's designed to take force from the front. It can brace against force from the side. But force applied at a 45-degree angle, it has almost zero structural support there. It's the body's natural fault.
This quote from the system's own manual it nails it. Think about it. A straight-on attack, you're hitting a wall. A circular attack, you can kind of move with it, it's a loop. But 45 degrees? That's not a wall or a loop, it's an open door right to your opponent's core stability. You stop fighting their muscles and you start attacking their relationship with gravity.
All right, so that's the theory. Sounds pretty cool, right? But what does it actually look like? Well, the whole system follows this simple three-step process: disrupt, dominate, and done. First, you disrupt their balance. Then you dominate the space while they're falling apart. And then, well, the threat is done. Let's see how that works from the ground up.
It all starts here with the iron guard stance. And just look at it. It's not a square, passive stance. It's bladed. 60% of the weight is loaded onto that front foot, like a sprinter in the blocks. The guard is high, protecting the head. This whole thing isn't built to stand there and wait. It's a fortress, coiled and just waiting to explode forward into that 45-degree open door.
And here's how it plays out in a scenario you can probably imagine. Some guy throws a big, wild haymaker. The natural instinct is to back up, right? Wrong. Instead, you step 45 degrees inside the swing, putting you in a safe spot. From there, you grab and yank their shoulder, that's the kazushi, and their entire structure just crumbles. While they're stumbling, you drive a knee into them. Fight's over, and you're gone. It's simple, it's efficient, and it's all based on geometry.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, because any system can sound great on paper. But Tetsuryoku-Ryu does something you don't see very often. It has its own internal, brutally honest breakdown of how it stacks up against other famous martial arts, specifically in a street fight. So let's take a boxer. A boxer needs to plant their feet to generate that knockout power. The entire game of this system is to use that 45-degree entry and kazushi to just yank that planted stance away from them. You can't slip a shoulder jam when your feet aren't under you. But they're honest about the flip side. If a skilled boxer is smart and uses their jab to control the distance, they can absolutely pick that iron guard apart from the outside.
And what about a ground fighting specialist like a BJJ player? This is where what the system calls the concrete variable comes in. On pavement, pulling guard is a really bad idea. So the system is built from the ground up with anti-grappling to keep the fight standing. But, and this is a huge but, they're totally upfront that if the fight does hit the ground, it's game over. The win rate plummets. It is a stay standing or die philosophy. This chart really tells the whole story. You can see they're super confident against more linear, striking arts like traditional karate. Against boxers, it's a tough fight, but the odds are still good. But look how that bar drops against a BJJ practitioner. That's the system being honest about where its kryptonite is, on the ground.
And all of this brings us to a really crucial point. This system is hyper-specialized. It's made for concrete, not for comic books. And its creators are refreshingly clear about what it can't do.
So of course we have to ask the big, silly question. Is this the ultimate, unbeatable system? Could a master of Tetsuryoku-Ryu take down, I don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The analysis is pretty clear. Nope, not a chance.
A human system that relies on human physics just completely falls apart when you're up against opponents whose bodies and weapons just laugh at those physics.
And it's the exact same story if you're talking about a superhuman like Blade. I mean, what good is breaking someone's structure when they're faster than you can blink and heal instantly? The whole concept becomes irrelevant. The point is, this isn't a system for fighting supervillains.
And there's a quote from the manual that just perfectly sums up its real mission. It says, "This system is designed to defeat the threats you might actually face in the real world. An angry drunk, a brawler swinging for the fences, an untrained thug. It's a tool for slaying real-world wolves, not for fighting characters who wear capes."
Which really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. The whole philosophy here challenges one of the most basic ideas about fighting. It suggests that maybe survival isn't about being the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest person in the room. Maybe it's just about being the one who understands geometry and is standing at the right angle when all the chaos stops.